Now 31-0 in series where his team has been up 2-0. Bronny loving it. LeBron takes his 20th different franchise, takes down his 20th different franchise in the playoffs. Lakers win. Here's LeBron.
Game 7 mentality for us. We understood that we had an opportunity to play in front of our fans, and we want to try to end it tonight. As hard as this series felt, and as hard as this series was, we was able to conquer level 1, and now we move to level 2.
More, off the court and on the court, just being disciplined on both sides, off the court, making better decisions, on the court, being locked in, even more. Being, a leader of this team, it pretty much, start with me.
Lakers, the second team in NBA history, Brian, to start 2-10 or worse and win a playoff series, and joining the 77-78 Supersonics.
So, somewhere Big Perk is like, I told y'all.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Big had a 2-piece of the biscuit.
Right. Seattle reached the finals that season, losing in 7 games to the Bullets. So next up
was like in the Bahamas right after losing the NBA Finals.
So we already had this vacation planned.
Right.
And we had this house in the Bahamas, my first. And Brown and Savannah came in, and we had some other friends there. And the first thing, my wife and I was out on the balcony.
Right.
When Brown and Savannah came up, our room was over here, their room was over there. It was a shared big balcony.
Sure.
And so we out there just looking at the pool and chilling, and Brown and them come up. No lie, once again, one of these stories. Mm-hmm. LeBron came in, said what's up to Vanna, looked down, there was a pool down there.
Okay.
Looked down, he said, how deep you think that is? 8, 9 feet. He said, let me see. Took his stuff off, jumped in the pool from the balcony. I promise you.
No.
I was like, this dude is crazy.
But that could have been the end of his NBA career.
He didn't even think about that. He just jumped in the water.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. He jumped in the pool.
Okay, then.
From the balcony.
So apparently there was a kind of crazy time for you guys.
It was down there, but that's how crazy.
Forever Young with our basketball analyst, Corey, SportsCenter AM. Corey, what stood out to you the most about the way the Lakers closed out the Grizzlies?
Well, in contrast to Dave's piece, of course, LeBron was great, but it really was Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis set the tone for this team defensively in Game 1, and he continued it all the way through Game 6. 26 block shots for Anthony Davis throughout this series. And not only on the offensive end, but defensively as well. He was the guy for the Lakers throughout this entire series. And when you think about Anthony Davis, he allowed the Memphis Grizzlies to have to think twice about him every time they went to the basket and made sure they knew where he was at all times. And that's the reason why the Lakers were successful, is because of their defense and because of AD.
AD was a huge part of that. For the series, the Grizzlies shot 26% when Anthony Davis contested their field goal attempts. Corey, sit tight. There's another Game 6 out west that we need to get to. Gary?
Yeah, the Lakers are just waiting for the winner of this series. The Kings taking down the Dubs. De'Aaron Fox had 26 points, 11 dimes. Malik Monk led Sacktown with 28 points. They win at Golden State for the first time since February of 2020. Mark Spears has more from the Chase Center.
It was Sacramento against the world in a do-or-die situation against the Warriors on Friday. Kings vet Malik Monk told his teammates in the locker room to lock in, start the game right, live up to the bright lights, and don't have any regrets. And before the Kings raced onto the Chase Center floor, Harrison Barnes yelled, "Leave it all on the floor and let's bring it back to Sac." The Kings did just that by saving their season with a 19-point win over the defending champs by not feeling the pressure of the moment.
Not having any pressure, man. There's no pressure for us because then nobody think we'll be here. So we just go out there and leave it out all on the floor every game. And just closing the game here, going back to Sac, just give us a little bit more confidence to show what we can do.
Back there for a Game 7, I feel like I said before, everybody doesn't get to experience a Game 7, but not a lot of people get to experience a Game 7 in Sacramento. So I feel like this is going to be rocking.
Coach Mike Brown said the Kings fought hard in the regular season to earn home court for a Game 7 like this. After the Game 6 win, Barnes told me that there was no celebration in the visiting locker room, and the message was simply win one more game at Golden One Center. The Kings have a chance to make it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 2004 by beating the champs. The reward, face LeBron James and their old, bitter rivals Lakers next.
All right, Coley Alexander back with us. The Kings, man, they want to light that beam so bad after Game 7. They first had to get through Game 6. Corey, how'd they make it happen?
They made it happen. Of course, they stopped the third quarter Warriors. We know that that's a thing. It's always been a thing since the, of course, championships. But the defense in the third quarter for the Sacramento Kings, they were flying around. They were all over the place. They gave 0 driving lanes and denied everything at the rim for the Golden State Warriors. And it was the third quarter defense. And then, of course, in the fourth quarter, they were able to match shot for shot Steph Curry, who you knew was going to step up and make big plays. They were able to match those shots. Malik Monk getting to the free throw line, making big threes. De'Aaron Fox stepping up, making big threes. And the Sacramento Kings, offensively and defensively, were the better team in Golden State last night for Game 6. And I got to think that's going to translate over to Game 7 at the Golden One Center. And there's a strong possibility that the Sacramento Kings will be moving on to face the Lakers in the second round.
Corey, you hit the nail on the head because the Kings afterwards saying we wanted to get back to that ferocious defense. And now for the first time in this series, they were able to hold the under tee of point.
Was there any moment tonight that stood out to you as like, this is why you wanted to be a Laker?
I just wanted to be a part of a historical franchise when I decided to come here and be able to just change the narrative of what the franchise has been going through before I got here for a few years. Obviously this franchise is known for winning championships and winning big and playing in big games and being a part of the postseason and the fans coming out and having an opportunity to be a part of that. So, tonight is another moment that I've always envisioned. And when I became part of this franchise, and like you said, because of circumstances, things of that nature, COVID and, injuries and things of that nature, we haven't had many postseason games with a full capacity season. Full capacity stadium. So far we've had 3 and they've been electric in this postseason, and we'll hopefully continue.
LeBron, how dominant was AD defensively during this series?
I think he was 80. I think we all know, the world knows, the basketball guys know, the competition know that how dominant AD is defensively. He was 80. He was spectacular.
BT.
LeBron, Darvin said that you shared some things with the guys after the game was over about the next level. What did you say to them, and why was it important for you to share that with that team?
Because we got a young ball club with not much experience in the postseason, so just try to give my knowledge about what I've been through and what they could expect. So as hard as this series felt and as hard as this series was, it gets even harder. We'll level up. So we was able to conquer level 1, and now we move to level 2, and it gets harder and harder. So they understood that, and they'll be ready for it.
Last 2, go Ramona, and then we'll end with Rachel.
Bron, you talked about just the connection with the crowd in this game. Do you feel a deeper connection with the crowd in LA this year? Just as Dan mentioned that you didn't get to do that in 2020 and 21 and all that. I know Jack Nicholson was here for the first time since the last year's season opener. Do you feel that building as these playoffs go on and you get to play in front of this home crowd?
I feel blessed to be able to play the game anytime I put on a uniform, and to be able to put on a Laker uniform and play for such a historical franchise, it's always an honor. The connection, I think you got to ask the fan, you got to ask the Laker fans what the connection is between me and them. I feel welcome. I'm happy to go out there and perform and showcase what I'm still able to do 20 years in the game, and hopefully I'll just add to more memories that they've had for so long with so many great players and so many great teams, and hopefully I could be part of some of those memories.
Last question.
LeBron, what was your first thought when you saw the schedule for the next round being every other night, and what challenge is that?
Well, it's definitely going to be a challenge, but both teams have to go through it. It's us, either Sacramento or Golden State. We're going to be both on the same schedule. The plus is that it's not a 4-hour flight like we were just taking to go to Memphis and losing 2 hours, during the process. So you was losing 6 hours just going back there right off jump. So, we stay in the same time zone, same state. It's an hour flight to each place, less if it's SAC, a little bit more if it's to the Bay. So that definitely helps.